My colleague Manoj Sharma is with us live right now from Bhopal. Manoj, thank you for joining us. Now, I'm given to learn about 60 to 70 people were arrested, at least that's what we were told yesterday. Tell me a little bit more about the actual incidents. What triggered the incidents? What led to the clashes taking place? What have investigations found so far?
In fact, stone pelting occurred in some 7 areas in Khargon, and the inciting point was that there was some objection for use of DJ, loud noise. So this is how it began in Khargon, and then it started from one area. Then other areas were also, the same incident was reported from 6 other areas in Khargon, and finally the administration was forced to clamp Section 144 in the entire city, and also all the affected areas. That curfew has been imposed in all the affected areas. But important point is that what Congress is alleging, Congress is saying this is simply irresponsible behavior, attitude or action by the police which led to these eruption of all these clashes in Khargon and Sandhwa. But now what Madhya Pradesh government is saying, the police have already arrested some 77 people. Home Minister Dr. Narottam Mishra is suggesting that Congress is behind, inciting all these clashes in Khargon and Sandhwa because of its frustration. What the Home Minister is saying, Congress is frustrated because of its, defeat in 5 assembly elections. So that is why it is inciting such, disturbances in Madhya Pradesh, and they will not, allow Congress to succeed. But 77 people have been arrested so far, and the situation is under control, both Khandwa and Sandhwa, and now police is now hunting all the accused. They have got CCTV footage, and all the accused are being now identified, and accordingly they will take further action, and they will also book them under National Security Act, that is NSA.
Okay, Manoj, I have 2 or 3 questions based on what you've just said. Tell me a little bit more, though. You said right now that there was some opposition to DJs and loud music. Are you telling me that after that opposition, the communities decided to pelt stones? Tell me exactly what happened there. Break down what we do know in terms of events. Also, tell me a little bit more. When the Congress is saying that this is an irresponsible attitude of the police, what do they mean?
Yeah, in fact, Congress is suggesting that, the government may be behind. The police, irresponsible attitude of the police led to these arson and stone pelting. And the incident occurred, let me brief you that the incident occurred at around 6 p.m. and it was the Ram Navami procession in Khargon and Sandhwa. Exactly the same time was exactly the same at both the places in Khargon and Sandhwa. And when the Ram Navami procession started, stone pelting took place at one place, at one locality in Khargon. And at the same time, as soon as this disturbance began in one locality, there was same incident, same stone pelting and arson was reported in other 6 areas of the cities. So in which some 3 dozen people have been injured so far, including some 6 police officers. And in fact, SP, Superintendent of Police in Khargon, Siddharth Chaudhary, he's also been injured. He was shot and he has got injuries in the knee. So he's also been he's admitted to a private hospital in Khargon. So this is how it began, because of the DJ and then stone pelting which led to arson, and then finally the police have to retaliate, and they fired tear gas shells to control the mob, and this is how the entire situation was. It was out of control in the night. Finally they have to impose curfew in the city. Only those people, they have got some important job, some essential job to go out of home. Otherwise nobody was allowed in the town to go out of home. And now what police is now, they have now government and police, they are claiming that situation is now absolutely under control. They are simply hunting those responsible on the basis of CCTV footage they have got in their possession.
All right, Manoj, thank you for bringing us those details. Do stay with us. I'm going to go now to our colleague Shukata Mukhopadhyay. We are attempting, as you'll remember, to bring you coverage from some of the different states that are involved in this story. Shukata, in West Bengal, there are obviously different reports. In West Bengal, there are reports of police attacking a procession. I want to understand from you, what have your ground sources pointed towards? Is there any truth to these reports?
Well, let me first tell you that these reports that have come in yesterday during the Ram Navami processions have come in from two specific locations. One, of course, is Bakuda, a central Bengal district where the Hindu organizations and BJP leaders were part of a Ram Navami procession that was allegedly stopped by a police at a certain point, following which there was some scuffle between those who were participating in the rally and the police who had stopped them allegedly from moving any further, apparently to avoid any sort of law and order disturbance, to prevent any sort of law and order disturbance. But ironically, that itself led to the stoppage itself led to some chaos with the participants in that procession clashing with the police. The BJP MP Subhash Sarkar, the junior minister in union government, has alleged that there was some stone pelting that happened on his vehicle and has laid the blame fairly and squarely on the police for being unable to stop such an attack from happening. The other incident that happened was reported from, of course, closer to Kolkata, which is Howrah, where the clashes were looking very ugly at late last evening. Of course, the Howrah City Police jumped into action. There was strong presence of police led by the police commissioner himself, who claimed that the situation was quickly brought under control. But we have visuals of vehicles being torched and properties being destroyed on account of the clashes that led to those ugly scenes in Howrah. In both places, however, let me tell you that that situation was brought under control last evening itself, and there was no further flaring up of any kind of tension, and there are no serious reports of any injuries being reported from either of these two places. Having said that, let me also add in the same breath that there were hundreds of Ram Navami procession that was taken out in Bengal yesterday, and almost all of these processions happened quite peacefully, thankfully, and there have been some amount of tension, mostly at the political level for the last few years here in Bengal over these Ram Navami rallies. But yesterday, most of these processions, which were taken out across the state, happened peacefully, barring these two incidents which were reported from Howrah and Bankura. Back to you.
Shagata, stay with us. Thank you for bringing us those details. Our audiences will remember we are actually trying to bring you coverage from different states. We've right now heard from West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh. I now want to take you to Gujarat. We have Ishan Parmar. He's with us from Sabarkantha. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. I'm actually going to go over and speak directly to Ishan. Ishan जी, हमारे साथ अभी जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद. कल गुजरात में जो हुआ, उसका आप हमें वर्णन कर सकते हैं?
हाँ जी, सही बताओ तो कल रामनवमी का त्यौहार था और त्यौहार में 2 बार रामनवमी की शोभा यात्रा निकली थी, उस पर पत्थर मारा हुआ था। आप यहाँ पे आगचंपी के भी दृश्य देख सकते हो, क्योंकि जो यहाँ से जो शोभा यात्रा रामनवमी की निकल रही थी तो रास्ते में तूफानी टोलों ने पत्थर मारा शुरू किया था और पुलिस, जिला पुलिस अधीक्षक उनको भी पत्थर लगा था, तो और पुलिस और 7 से 8 लोग पुलिस कर्मियों को भी नुकसान हुआ। तो बात करें तोड़फोड़ की तो 8 से 10 जितनी बाइक या गाड़ियां थी उनमें तोड़फोड़ की गई थी। आप दृश्य में देख सकते हो कि यहाँ पे जो दुकान है तो दुकानों में भी तोड़फोड़ की और जलाया हुआ था। तो अभी हिम्मतनगर में जो छापड़िया विस्तार है वहाँ पे पुलिस की सघन पेट्रोलिंग शुरू हो गई है और सभी जगह पे पुलिस ने कॉम्बिंग चालू कर दी है। RAF की भी टीम यहाँ पे बुलाई है, तो दो रेंज आईजी और चार जिले के SP और साबरकांठा, महसाणा, गांधीनगर और अरावली के SP भी यहाँ पे और पुलिस स्टाफ भी यहाँ पे खड़ा कर दिया है। SR की टीम भी यहाँ पे तैनात की गई है। जी।